I know it's hard to believe, but I promise you it's the absolute truth. The less you do, the more things work out in life. It's it's true. I know that there are big issues and some of them are pressing. And I'm not saying to become dormant or passive or inactive. I'm not saying to just, you know, ignore life and hope it goes away. I'm not at all saying that. But I'm saying that all of your efforts are not the place from which solutions come. And there's a different way to do it. There's a different way to solve and navigate all of the things that are coming at you. The simplest way to describe it is to look for grace or to allow grace. What is grace? Okay, let's start with what's happening. So, you are, you have become focused, you've become fully focused on the aspects of yourself that you think will make a difference in the world. So your mind is thinking, your intellect is analyzing, your body is doing. And you think that these are all the tools you have to work with. And you're doing your very best. So you're thinking more and you're analyzing more and you're attempting more. But what happened is that your true self is you are the avatar. You're the embodiment of your true self. Your true self is wants to act through you, right? This is how it was supposed to be when you came to this world. Spirit, your inner self, your higher self came into this world and acquired a body, acquired a mind, acquired an intellect temporarily to help it in this world to live its life. But you have forgotten that. You have forgotten that you are the avatar. You have forgotten that there is your real self. You've lost the perception of the real self. You no longer hear, feel, sense, know that the real self is there. So you think it's just you against the world. And you being only the mind, the body, and the intellect, you go, oh, well, I'm going to just put those into hyperdrive and see if maybe a lot of effort there is going to solve something. And it's not, right? That's like saying that the windshield wipers or the sound system or the indicator lights in your car are going to drive the car. The tools that the driver uses are not the driver. So, what happened, if you watch all the videos, you'll know that different forms of trauma caused you to become disconnected from your true self and to lose your sense of awareness of this true self and to be stuck in the tools, to be stuck in the little things that are meant to help the self. So now you're trying to drive a car with nothing more than windshield wipers. It's not going to work at all. At all. You're going to have a lot of activity and it's going to seem like you're doing something, well, I'm wiping away rain. That's got to be useful. No, it's not actually. You're not moving forward in life. You're not moving along the road of life, getting from here to there. Because while there is a car and you do have tools and you do have intentions, the one who is driving has been forgotten. You have forgotten the one who knows the way. So that's what went wrong. What has to happen now is you have to listen for that person and you have to allow that person. And that's called grace. Grace is when spirit, God, the universe, the higher self, your inner self, whatever you want to call it, that the truth of your nature, your true self, when your true self shines in, provides light, provides guidance, provides wisdom, provides cooperative components in the universe to help you to get something done. Grace. Okay, so how do you get grace? Is it a question of I need to merit grace, I need to earn grace, I need to be a good girl so I can deserve grace? Or is it I should look for grace? Where's the grace? There's no grace. I'm looking, where's the grace? Or is it sort of beg, oh, please, 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 send me grace, send me grace, send me grace? It's none of those things. If you think that you have to ask God to turn on love, if you think that you have to ask your inner guide, you have to beg your inner guide to guide, if you think it simply means that you do not really know the nature of what you're dealing with. It is as absurd as asking the sun, standing in a shadow, in the shade, and asking the sun, could you turn your light on, please? If you know what the sun is, you know that the sun does not turn its light on. You do not have to beg or beseech or wait or hope that the sun will shed light on you. And in the same way, you do not have to hope that God will love you, or hope that your inner guide will guide you, or beg your spirit guides or your ancestors to love and support you. That's not, if you're doing that, or if you think that's how it works, then it's because you don't really understand. When you understand what your true nature is, when you understand that the Spirit of God lives and wants to act through you, is waiting for the opportunity to act through you. Like the sun, it is shining and waiting for the slightest crack to let its light in. You realize that the prayer is not a prayer of asking, could you please send some light? The prayer is a prayer of allowing the light in, allowing the higher self, the guide, God, your spirit, your inner being, your inner guru, your true self, to show up, not show up, to be perceived, allowing the perception. How do you allow the perception? How do you allow the perception? Okay, why aren't you perceiving this in the first place? Why aren't you receiving the help? If the sun is shining, why don't you see the sun? What is happening? Why aren't you allowing? You're not allowing because you're not creating the opportunity for it to be perceived. So you're in a loud room full of a lot of people talking, yelling, screaming, music, machinery, equipment, all sorts of stuff is happening. And sitting across from you, there is your best friend in the universe giving you the best advice in the world. Let's imagine it's a coffee shop somewhere. You know how those things can get really loud with the espresso machines and stuff? So you're listening to the espresso machine. When will this espresso machine stop making noise? When will they stop grinding? When will they stop steaming the milk and grinding the beans? When will the people stop talking? I'm trying to hear my friend. When will the traffic on the street make less noise so that I can hear my friend? You're placing your awareness on the noise, and you're saying either the noise needs to quiet down or my friend needs to speak up. That is not what needs to happen. You need to shift your awareness from the sound of the beans being ground and the sound of the people on the other table chatting. And you need to place your awareness across the table to your best friend who's gently and quietly telling you the advice that you need. That's what's happening, right? So, to summarize, you think you have to solve the problems in life. You do not. Your higher self, the spirit nature of yourself, wants to help you. You think that you have to earn or wait or deserve that help. Not true. The help is always there. Why aren't you receiving the help? Because you're not placing your awareness on the help. You're focusing on the problem, and you're not letting a moment, you're not creating a gap where you can detect and perceive and align your consciousness with what is being said from spirit. So how do you do this? To use the metaphor of the cafe, the loud coffee shop, you can't stop the noise, you can't make the guidance louder. So it is a question of your awareness. The missing link here is that we forget that we have a thing called awareness. Just because there are thoughts, that doesn't mean you have to place your awareness on the thoughts. Just because there are emotions that are tempting you for your attention, it doesn't mean you have to place your awareness on them. Just because there are challenging things in life in this moment doesn't mean that you have to place your awareness on them 100% of the time. I'm not telling you to dissociate, not be responsible, walk away from your responsibilities. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that must you be constantly aware of them all through your entire day? Couldn't you take 5 or 10 minutes a day and say, I'm going to lift my awareness off of the blah 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 blah, and I'm going to allow my awareness to hear what else might be there. If everything that the blah 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 is you, and you're thinking and you're worrying and you're analyzing and you're upset and you're remembering and you're fretting and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know, maybe I should try this, maybe I shouldn't try this, why did I do that, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. If all of that is you, if all of that is what you believe yourself to be, what you have become identified with, and what you listen to in this world, if you can lift your awareness from that for a few minutes, wouldn't you be able to hear the higher guidance that says, whoa, 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 relax, relax. This instead. What about there? Have you tried this? Look over there, sent you a friend to help you. That's what would happen. It's the difference between literally talking to yourself and listening to that, or stop listening to your own voice talking to yourself, your own fretting, your own worrying, your own lamenting, and instead listen for the true, like true listening is listening to something that is not a voice that you are leading, right? Me running through my shopping list in my head and then listening to me run through my shopping list in my head is not listening. Listening is going, what, who, what, somebody else, something else, some original new thought from somewhere beyond what I consider to be me. Let me listen for that. And that is what allows grace in. That's the little gap in the curtains that lets the light in. The light has always been shining, but you do have to create little gaps. So receiving grace is about creating little gaps for grace to come in. Prayer is about creating moments where you allow and receive guidance from God. So if you've been following the channel, the easiest way to do this, the easiest way to learn to move your awareness from one place to the other, is to place your awareness. First, there's the blah, 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 blah. And if you try to silence this, that is the wrong practice. And if you try to ignore this, that's also the wrong practice. I'm not listening. I'm not listening. Well, now you're listening to the voice in your head that's saying, I'm not listening. You're still not listening. So the solution is you have to take the awareness. It's about learning that there's this thing called awareness has a muscle. Like your leg has a muscle and you need to move the muscle. The thing called awareness has a muscle and you have to move it from the blah, the blah, the blah, the blah. So let's start with the simple act of moving it with a conscious breath. What does a conscious breath means? It means that it is you breathing, or you becoming aware of breathing, taking your awareness from the incessant thought stream and lifting it and placing it, and say, I will place my awareness on the breath. I will feel my breath. I will sense my breath. I will listen to my breath. I'll observe my breath. I'll watch the rhythm of my breath. I'll feel my breath in my chest. I'll feel the breath in my abdomen. I'll feel the breath in my nose. I'll follow the breath, the breath, the breath, the breath, the breath. Now, it's not so much, no, this isn't breath work. This isn't pranayama. It's not that. What it is the act of saying, my awareness is listening to my own voice again. And I would like to take I want to master the art of lifting my awareness from that. So let me practice this, like going to the gym and strengthening that muscle every single day. I'm going to practice moving my awareness for a few minutes every day. And I'm going to use awareness of breath as a practice, as the free weights that I'm going to lift in order to get this done. So I recommend that on my channel you go and you look up the guided meditation playlist. The guided meditation playlist has one conscious breath, experiencing being, even I am the clouds, I am the sky, not the clouds. Honestly, pretty much every single meditation in that playlist is based on the concept of let's place our awareness on breathing. There are short ones like one conscious breath is 5 minutes. Experiencing being, which I think is the best one, is like 15-20 minutes. But if you can do that every single day, first of all, you have at least 5 to 15 minutes a day when there is a gap where you may possibly be able to hear something else. And then also, what you're doing is you're strengthening the muscle that is able to move awareness. Because if you're spiritually awakening right now, what has happened is you have strengthened your ability to spot yourself getting lost, getting trapped in the blah, 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 blah. And you're like, what? Why is this the voice? To stop it, make the thoughts stop, make the emotion stop, make the stress stop, make the suffering stop. That is a level of consciousness. Most people don't even know that they're suffering the voice. But you have done step one. You have said, oh gosh, I'm lost in this thing again. You have done step two, which is I know that there is more. I know that there is a God, a spirit, that a higher self, and angels, helpers, whatever. I know that there is a guide inside of me. I know that my true nature, the spirit that came into this world that wants to live through me, I know that it exists. I know that it wants to help. And I know that it is offering me help. And I know that I'm worthy of help. So that's step two. Step one, you know where you don't want to be. Step two, you know that you know where the help is coming from. Step three is I need to practice snapping out of the, jumping out of the stream of the blah, blah, blah. And do that with a daily meditation practice. You can eventually, you don't even need to watch my videos once you get the hang of it. They're super simple. You can guide yourself through this. You can make 10-minute meditations, 5-minute meditations. You can practice snapping out of the, of having your awareness trapped by the stream of thoughts every now and then. Like you can say, every time I get into my car and I close the door, before I drive off, I'm going to lift my awareness off of the stream of thoughts, the momentum of thoughts that I'm stuck in. Every time I pick up my phone, before I get engaged with the phone, I'm going to take 10 seconds and I'm going to lift my awareness off of whatever it is I had planned to do. And I'm going to allow my awareness to detect other forms of guidance. And you can play these games with yourself. I'm going to set an alarm, or every time I see my screensaver, or every time I see a certain number, or whatever, 5 times a day, whatever. I'm going to practice lifting my awareness off of the stream of thoughts and creating, you're not even creating silence, but let's use the word creating silence. Creating enough silence so that you can hear the guidance. That's it. That's step three. Step three is receive the guidance, right? It's if step one is I don't want to be here. Step two is ask for help. I know you're out there. I know you're helping me. I want the help. I'm surrendering to the help. I'm open to the help. I'm not going to resist the help anymore. And step three is okay, I'm going to practice being really good at hearing the help. After a while, you won't have to do any ritual, any set sequence of meditation steps. You won't have to do any induction. You won't have to do anything. You will just go, there it is. There it is. And that now becomes a constant conversation that you have with your higher self. And it becomes a constant sense of, I'm listening. Tell me yes, tell me no. Should I do this? Should I do that? Where should I go? What should I do? Am I aligned? Am I doing the right thing? Tell me, I'm listening. And then eventually that dissolves the boundary between you and your spirit, and then you become one, and blah, 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 and then bliss and eternal happiness. So yeah, that is the simple breakdown of how to attain that. Let me know in the comment section what you're thinking of this, how it's resonating with you. I know the other videos have been helping, and I'm just trying to clarify that sort of missing step. So let me know, and I will always make videos, or if the need is big enough, I'll do a workshop if you want to know more. I do recommend my book, The Art of Being, because it explains all of this slowly and clearly in little tiny bite-sized pieces, with the simplest, most doable, most accessible exercises possible, without any fancy words and fluff. The first exercise one is breathe. Exercise two is breathe some more. Like, it's so simple. Yeah, so I know this is helping, but I want to hear how it's helping or how it's not quite helping so I can fine tune it. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a wonderful day, everyone.